Tesla is now taking orders for the Tesla Model 3 that's going to be made in China. And obviously this is for Chinese market. They've announced the price, they've announced the timeline now. So we have so much more information. Unfortunately, some of it does not really make sense to me. I really expected something different, especially from the price. So I'll tell you what it is and we'll talk about it coming up next. Welcome to E4Electric, your number one source of unbiased electric car news. If this is your first time here, go ahead and click on that subscribe button down there so you don't miss anything moving forward. And of course, a huge thank you to my Patreons who are supporting the show and as a result are able to watch me live, and my new Patreon, Eric Tall. Thank you so much for joining my Patreon community. All right, so now, by the way, remember that teaser that we talked about, how they were kind of made this announcement for Chinese audience that they're going to have some surprise, some big deal going on this Friday? Well, it wasn't a big deal. They were already asking people to guess price for the Model 3, so kind of people were expecting that they're going to do it on Friday. But because of this image, which was it a car, was it not a car, everybody kind of expected something much more. So unfortunately, it was just that. Though it is big news because they essentially announced the price for the Model 3 that's going to be being made at the Shanghai factory. If you remember, the hopes were pretty high because if you remember, I had Sandy Munro on my show a while back, and he was predicting that, you know, the profit margins on these in China are going to be huge, like 25% or more. So the anticipation, the expectations were obviously high. They won't have to pay the tariff that right now is jumping between 15 and 25%. But even if it's at 15, that's pretty high. Obviously, there are tons of different fees that they have to pay when you basically deliver cars from California to China. All of that is going to be forfeited, and Tesla will be making these cars for much cheaper. Now, they did announce the price, and they also posted some pictures, from that event. So I don't see people in those pictures. Maybe they just all ran away because they were like, wait, what? The price is going to be all right. So now they're only going to be selling the standard range plus, and they're going to be selling it at about 47,500 American dollars if you transfer it to Chinese currency, which is at 49,000. But anyway, so it's 47,500, and the reason I'm telling you this in US dollars because obviously we want to compare it to what it is here, which is 39,000 and a half. Now this is about 13% less than what they're selling it for now, but at the same time, it's still pretty expensive. So even if they just give the tariff, they lower it, the price by the tariff, let's say 15%. That's still 2% less. But what about all those fees that they're saving? What about the labor and parts and everything that's much cheaper in China? And so that kind of baffles me, right? Because this is still more expensive. Now, there may be a couple of reasons for that, and but I would still suggest that they're going to have a hard time competing. One, against other cars that are being made in China, including the Chinese manufacturers. But two, they're going to actually have a hard time competing with themselves. And I'll tell you why. Before that, of course, a quick reminder that this video and this channel is sponsored by Byton. And this is an M-Byte all-electric SUV starting at only $45,000. That's going to be imported from China to here. That's before the incentives. Over 50,000 of us have already reserved one. It takes $0 to reserve one, unlike pretty much any other car. And about 60 seconds or so of your time. So browse to the description of this video to reserve yours. Okay, so here's how Tesla might be shooting themselves in the foot a little bit, and maybe that's why they're not lowering the price by that much, is because Standard Range Plus is the only Model 3 type that's going to be available in China that at first that's going to be built in the Shanghai factory and have that lower price. And now everything else is still going to be imported from the US, and the next higher level will start at 60,000, which is significantly more, but not by that much to be absolutely scary. But yeah, they're essentially competing, with one Model 3 type that's built in China with a Model 3 type that's built in California, and that's maybe why they're keeping the price up. I mean, they must be making a killing in terms of the the margins. But at the same time, I'm not really sure if they're going to be able to compete that much, because the price should at least be the same there as it is here, even though I believe it's much more expensive to produce them here. So that's one question I don't really have an answer for, and I usually look for you guys sometimes when for something like that, for some explanation, and there might be none. I'm just saying that's a little odd that I thought. Now they also give delivery estimations from 6 to 10 a month, and that's a little bit out there, because actually everybody kind of thought that these cars are going to start being produced, in the last quarter of this year, and even if it includes December, that is pretty much 6 months from now. But with Tesla, when they say 6 to 10, it's probably going to be at least 10. That's just a translation from Tesla to human language, right? So it does seem like it's a little bit further than we thought. Now also there's something else that's happening in the world, and they've announced it on their Tesla feed, which is becoming more and more fun, by the way, that besides the UK, where they've already launched the right-hand drive car, they're also launching it in Australia, Hong Kong, Japan, New Zealand, Ireland, and Macau. All of these countries have right-hand side cars, which and this is one of the pictures, of course, that, I mean, pretty much identical. And I'm assuming because of the simplicity of the Model 3, this is not that hard to produce or change or have a different version of it. Now that's great. This way that this Model 3 is going to be available pretty much wherever Tesla is selling everything else now, so that's great. I know they've struggled in Japan because it's just a tough market to penetrate for any non-Japanese manufacturer, but I'm kind of excited to see Model 3 there, because if any foreign car in Japan that can actually do the trick, that would be the Model 3, I hope. And the rest of the world now will be able to have a taste of it, and we'll see what this global domination of Model 3 is going to be all about, if it's going to be able to sustain itself. On the other hand, of course, as we know, the concerns are that they're already having all these logistical issues with deliveries and so forth, and they're trying to cut costs, and will only increase costs because there's now more countries to deliver these cars to. I mean, obviously they're not going to be selling them for free, but nevertheless, just some more logistical issues that they're going to have to overcome right in the middle of so many different things that they're doing. So on one hand, good. On another hand, I'm a little bit cautious. But nevertheless, I think the pricing of the Model 3 in China, I would say that's probably one of the biggest sort of issues for me, unanswered questions. Hopefully we'll get an answer sometime soon. You will get an answer about what our bonus article of the week is going to be tomorrow, if you are on our VIP list. If you're not, it's free. e4electric.com/VIP and then the link is in the description of this video. And of course, we're running deal of the month with $50 off of this item, so check it out. All you have to do is just sign up and we'll send it to you on a Saturday. So that's pretty much it. I will see you guys next time, and remember to stay charged.